got about 12 more minutes, so we're going to try to squeeze in as many people as we can. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing good as well. Thank you.
Thank
So are you
you.
atheist, theist, or agnostic?
I'm an atheist.
Atheist? Okay.
Yeah.
You looking for quick debate, or do you have serious questions?
More so questions. I'm sure it might get into a back and forth, but in regards to your title, Neurochemistry points to the teaching of Christ. I asked a question in the chat earlier, and you briefly expanded upon that. But are you saying something like neurochemistry more often points to the teachings of Christ than it points to some natural explanation?
No. So I don't negate any scientific aspect or explanation in regards to our existence. So the general claim is that the awareness of neurochemistry, of these chemicals produced by the brain, we know are directly associated to our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And that the pre-mechanism to that is belief structures.
Mm.
So you can't always change your circumstances, but you can always change your belief structures, not instantaneously. It takes practice, it takes repetition and persistence.
Mm-hmm.
But if you find a belief that you have that's producing an emotion that you don't prefer and you have good reason to change the belief, then repetitiously and persistently working to change the belief structure to produce a different emotion will serve you in a beneficial way. And this is all about perspective.
Okay, so you're saying something like if I know, because a lot of science shows that like exercise is going to be good for my mental health, yet I'm having trouble getting off the couch and going to the gym, like reaffirming myself daily that it's okay to, like, it's going to be hard, you got to go through it to get through it, that can bring about a positive outcome. Is that what you're saying? But in like a religious sense?
And also carefully analyzing your belief on why is it that you're not choosing to get off the couch?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you're afraid of if you go to the gym will happen?
Okay. So I guess what I have contention with there is I think that could be a mechanism that could lead to beneficial results, but it could also lead to non-beneficial results. And I don't see how we could say that it leads to beneficial results more than non-beneficial results. Like, you can imagine somebody hanging out with friends who are racist or something, and you just find yourself being convinced that they're wrong. And you could say, everyone around me thinks this way, and they get so emotionally like elated when they agree on their like racist things that they say. What if I just work on my mentality such that when I hear these things, I am also elated?
Well, one, I would ask that individual, do you enjoy hanging around with those racist individuals, and do you also have the same beliefs as them?
Mm-hmm.
So in this scenario, does this individual have the same beliefs, and do they enjoy hanging out with them?
Oh, I mean, as far as like what is stipulated in the hypothetical, I'm just trying to use that to illuminate that, yeah, we can come to good virtues by this method that you're saying, but I also think that we could come to bad virtues. So I think that what is going to make it that we should use this mechanism or not is it how good is it at tracking true belief forming mechanisms? Like you would say that believing in things that are true is valuable. Is that right?
It depends contextually on what we mean by true. Do we mean prospectively true or objectively and scientifically true?
What theory of truth do you hold to? Do you hold to like correspondence theory or like?
Well, to give you an expansion on what I just stated through an analogy, if we're, let's say, standing on two sides of a house, my side is blue, your side is green, and we haven't seen the other sides, I would say that my side is blue and you would say your side is green, and we argue about it. Prospectively, we're both right.
Mm.
We need to be willing to expand to other perspectives to understand why the other individual is seeing what they're seeing. So,
right. But you would agree that if I say the house is green and you say the house is blue, we would both be incorrect. Because if we were to investigate this situation further, we would find out that this is a half green, half blue house. So
it is true that it is blue and it is green. It depends on the perspective. It's also half blue, half green. but it is blue and it is green.
Yeah, but if I'm recognizing there's some fundamental misunderstanding between us, what I would do there is to seek clarity. And what I would say is like if you make statements like this house is green, and then I say this house is blue, and I trust you, and I know that like usually your beliefs tend to correspond to like reality. Maybe there's something that we're missing here, and maybe we're just using language as an ineffective means to communicate our idea, and we're leaving out words like the side of the house that I can see is green, and the side of the house that I can see is blue. Right?
Yeah. It depends on the language. We're not saying that this house is only green or this house is only blue.
Yeah.
So if we stated that and we weren't willing to expand our perspective, if I'm not willing to come to your side, that means I'm condemning myself to intellectual contempt by not being willing to expand my perspective.
Okay, yeah, and that kind of bases on what you were saying to your previous guest about like things are going to seem hard, but you're always exactly in the right place that you need to be, right? And that might be counterintuitive to you, right? You might think that I think I deserve something better, or I think I should be punished a little bit worse. But your plan doesn't necessarily track with like a divine plan, so you could be incorrect about your intuitions. But rest assured, you're always in the right spot.
It depends on what you perceive the divine plan to be, if it's beneficial for you or not. That's a perspective.
So I guess I would say, how can you be confident that the divine plan is not for you to find like some point of naturalistic explanations convincing? Because you said something about choosing belief earlier. And I don't know how you would choose, like, let's say I gave you an argument right now and it just convinced you that God wasn't real. You wouldn't choose to be convinced. In fact, that you would have a lot of motivation to not be convinced. But if you did find it convincing, it simply would convince you.
So to better help you understand, God and the structure of existence is the house, and there's more than just four sides to this house. This is a very multifaceted structure when we're analyzing God and existence, and that all perspectives within that structure, of that structure, are facets, they are sides. So there is a side of this structure of existence that we can choose to view that there is no divine plan. That is a perspective to the structure of existence. We could also choose to view that there is a divine plan. Now, within that unique view that there is a divine plan, we can choose to view that that divine plan is negative or positive. You choose which perspective you want within the structure, this complex structure of existence, but always ask yourself, is this truly serving me in the best way?
But, okay, that tracks. My question is more about, can you be incorrect on whether adopting a certain facet of that house is within your best interest and aligns with some goals that you have? Like, let's say you have a goal to...
Looking at your goals, yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say that your facet of that house belief scenario, what part of your, like epistemology, like your, what part of your goals when making belief claims does that fulfill that you couldn't fulfill otherwise?
So with my particular goal, it is to become the best version of myself that will then there assist society in the best way possible. And in the multi-complex sides to existence, I continue to carefully analyze all options and all sides, considering all options and all sides, and comparing and contrasting, to make the decision in the present moment of what's going to be the best option. Now, as I follow that path, I'll recognize through the experience that this is working or it's not. If it's not working, I go back and I take another path.
Got it. Okay, yeah, so we've been going for about 10 minutes, so if you want to kick me, that's fine, but I have two questions.
Good.
One...
We got like 6 more minutes left, so we can finish this off.
Since you said that you're open to, if you arrive at a conclusion that you think it like doesn't easily fit in your framework so far, you're okay to go back and reevaluate, right? So I would ask you, what % confidence do you have that there is a God, and what could you find out that would diminish your confidence?
At this point, I'm 100% certain that consciousness is the basis of existence, and that these physical bodies we're inside of experiencing through are not the end. The reason I'm 100% confident in that, and I don't just believe that, I know it, is to give you a quick context. Atheist for 24 years, grew up in an atheist household. I started to get these thoughts.
I did hear this. If you're saying this for the audience, that's fine.
Yeah, so the thoughts and the beliefs eventually made me come to the scientific position of wanting to better understand and contend with all perspectives to see where the greatest truth is in relationship to my goals. And as I kept challenging them, eventually I've experienced through this process miracles, as well as being pulled out of my body and having a conversation with another being that I can't explain or depict to you who or what they specifically were.
That's fine. So, okay, one thing that the only thing there that I have a really a real problem with, and I think that you would agree, the two guys talking about the house, blue, green guy. Let's just call him blue and green. So blue, let's say he's 100% confident that he is correct, and green is 100% confident that he is correct. Don't you think that if your goal is to be the best version of yourself for humanity, that these two people, let's just say they were friends forever before this, both of them are at a 100% confidence level that they are correct. So what does that lead them to believe about their like best friend at the time? That they're lying, that they're manipulative or something? What I say that to say that saying like 99% sure, there's room for them both to eventually find the truth, and if that truth is God, so be it. But 100% certainty, if you run up against somebody who doesn't agree with you and they claim 100% certainty, your goal of being the best version of yourself to reach out to all humans, your goal is undermined by your level of confidence. Would you say that?
No, because I'm always in a position of willing to understand any new perspective.
So that seems at least incongruent with 100%. Unless you're saying something unremarkable, like though I'm 100% confident that God is true, I will what is it? I will like entertain your ridiculous stories about atheism until you're done, so I can convince you. If you're saying something unremarkable like that, then fine. But if you're saying something where you'll listen to things with the mindset that they could form your belief systems in a different way, then I would say that is at least incongruent with 100% confidence.
Yeah, and I could see where you could argue that from. It's just from my perspective, after you've been pulled out of your body and it was a more real experience than anything you've ever experienced in your life, it's hard to forget that. And it's hard to, I guess, come to an awareness of how any other perspective could dismiss that experience. I grant the possibility, but because of that experience, and because of everything I do know at this moment, I am 100% confident in my experience, but also willing to be wrong still, and that if I'm presented with anything new that could explain that in a solidified way that doesn't remove any aspect of that experience from my view, I'd be willing to consider it. So I see where you're coming from. So I guess to be more intellectually honest, I'm 99.9999999% confident.
We love that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not trying to rob you of your personal experience. Like obviously, you know the arguments that can be made against like different religions having personal experiences, and I don't want to discredit your like profound revelation or something. I love that you were honest about that. And just before I go, I'm sure that you know about the study that was done. They have people on like, I don't know what equipment you guys use, right? They're like on a brain scanner, an MRI scanner, seeing what areas of the brain light up when they read statements. And they'll read statements like, I did this today, I want this to happen, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll read something like, my neighbor or a close friend of mine wants this thing to happen, right? And then they'll read statements like, God wants this kind of thing to happen, God wishes for me to do this kind of thing. The areas of the brain that light up when you say I are different than what light up when you say your neighbor or your friend. But the areas that light up when you say God wants this are the same areas as when you say I statements. And I wonder what you think about that.
It references to when Christ said I am, and that the same works I do, you will do in greater if you believe that we are all children of God, and that we are interconnected as one structure, but individual aspects to that one structure.
I don't want to end this on a bad note. That was
Not sufficient.
not it didn't feel good to hear that for sure. Yeah, but no, have a good day, man. Thanks for the convo. Yeah, it was great.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
God bless you. Take care.
Yep, you too.
All right, is everybody else I want to say bless you. Take care. All right, is everybody else I want to say thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you guys for liking the live, for participating in this. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I appreciate you for being here. If you guys have enjoyed the conversation, hit the follow button. You're all eternal, indestructible beings, and Jesus says, love you. I will catch you guys next time.